Wolverine is sent to his darkest mission. Deep in the heart of the suburbs, a young man awakens. A kid early in his teenhood. As he gets ready for this day, he notices that the house is a little empty, and he calls out for his mom as he looks around and doesn't see her. But he does notice something odd in the kitchen, as a pair of clothes is lying on the floor, particularly his mother's. He's a little concerned and still cries out for his mom, and he leaves her a message saying if he was gonna wait any longer he'd be late for school, and wondering where she is at. But he starts to notice something strange that is going on, and he wonders if it's just all in his head, as he turns around and sees people around him, thinking that the world might have changed while he was asleep. But the minute he turns around, the world starts to fall apart. He finally arrives at the school and everything is fine, as if it was back to normal. His girlfriend rushes up to him saying how come he didn't answer her phone call last night, but her attention is taken. All of a sudden, people start evaporating all around him, and he is in utter shock of what he's witnessing with his very own eyes. Even his girlfriend tries to grab him as she starts to evaporate in front of him, crying out in agony in her final moments. Then every organic thing around him starts to decay right in front of him. As he was the only survivor, he heads to a cave for precautions. But then a familiar person walks in and sparks up a match and begins to look for the boy. As he can smell the McDonald's from outside, he knows that the boy is there as he calls out to tell him, "Get out of here." And he lights up a fire as the boy still pleads with him to leave the cave. Wolverine snaps open a beer. The boy warns him, "If you don't leave, you will die," as Logan just shrugs it off and sips his beer, and he offers the boy one. But the boy realizes that he looks familiar to him, and Wolverine says, "Yeah, I'm a famous mutant." As the boy starts to realize who it is, and Wolverine tells him the name's Logan. The boy freaks out as he is a fan of the Xmen, and he tells him his mutant power is healing. "So you're not gonna hurt me, kid. Let's just have a chat." The kid asks, "How did you find me?" Logan replies by saying, "There's a mutant called Charles Xavier, and he knows how to find people, mainly mutants, with a machine known as Cerebro." "So you're telling me I'm a mutant?" But the realization sets in as he starts to tear up and say, "Was I the one that killed my parents and all those people because I'm a mutant?" Wolverine can barely look the kid in the eyes and tells him, "Yeah." The guilt starts to weigh down on the kid as he starts to break down, wondering why is his mutant power like this. All those people died because he became a mutant, and he wants to know the number of how many. As Logan tries to spare him the guilt and says, "You don't want to know," but the kid begs him, "Please." He says 265, maybe more, as he could barely look at the kid when he tells him that, and he says, "I'm sorry, kid. Apparently you hit puberty last night," as he reads him what his powers do. Your mutation radiates toxins and acids like poisons, kills any organic tissue, and vaporizes it around you. As a kid cries out, "Oh, so all I do is kill? That's my dumb power? That's all I do?" As Logan stays emotionally detached when he tells him the news. As the kid starts to cry, as he starts to tell Wolverine, "I never had my first kiss. This life isn't fair. I've never got to experience other stuff." As Logan tries to hand him a beer, the kid opens the can and starts to tell him, "I should have enjoyed life more. This isn't fair. I'm a kid. I had so many more things I should have done. Next summer I was supposed to be in cross country. I was supposed to start looking for colleges." As all Wolverine can say is, "Sorry, kid." As the kid regrets even being born. But Wolverine says, on the bright side, no one's ever gonna know this happened. But my mom, all those people, they're gonna blame it on a chemical spill. as a kid wants to face his guilt publicly. As he tells the kid, we can't let the public know that. If people found out that a mutant did this, they round us all up. You gotta think of the big picture, you know? As he pops open another beer. So you're saying I could have been an X-Men at one point? Or maybe one chromosome different and I could have joined y'all? And Logan just says, yeah, maybe. As the kid starts to cry even harder. The kid finally realizes why Logan's actually there. And he tells him, just do it. As Logan had a hard time completing this mission as he walks out with the guilt and shame. If you want to read this for yourself, it's Ultimate X-Men issue 41 by Brian Michael Bendis and David Finch.